Man, yesterday the Chicago White Sox went up to Milwaukee and got demolished or obliterated or just completely just destroyed. Whatever you want to say is what happened. Y'all saw the game, and if you watched all of it, there was some good, some bad, some ugly. We're gonna talk about that. Plus, we're going to preview game two coming up tomorrow on Saturday. It's your boy Big Kev. We're gonna get into it right after the intro.
Welcome to Chicago White Sox Central, your number one place for all Sox news and content.
Good morning, Chicago White Sox fans. Welcome to another episode of Chicago White Sox Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago White Sox related. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for the South Side. Y'all already know what to do. Hit me up at Big Kev from the Shy, Big Kev, Kev from DACHI, and Sox Central Pod, Chicago White Sox Central at gmail.com. And of course, like, follow, share, and hit that notification bell, or shy white sox central at gmail.com. Forgive me for that. And hit that notification bell. Man, listen, yesterday was just atrocious. There's no two ways about it. Chase Mydroff, he became the first Chicago White Sox player to lead off a season with a home run. He had a leadoff home run on Jacob Mizorowski, and then the Milwaukee Brewers ran off 14 straight points to nothing. They went on a 14 to nothing run. And the Chicago White Sox end up bookending their game with a home run from Munitaka Murakami in the ninth. So you got a home run in the first inning from Chase Mydroff, then a home run in the ninth inning from Munitaka Murakami, and that was pretty much it. The only other person to get a hit was Luis Angel Acuna. The rest of the guys were just terrible. They were terrible. Lots of swing and misses, lots of strikeouts. We're going to get into a segment that I'm going to do this year called The Good Guys, the Bad Guys, and the Ugly Guys. And we'll get into all of the numbers. But, you know, Jacob Mizorowski was stellar yesterday. 11 strikeouts uh, through 5 innings, 25 swings and misses from him. So, yes, Shane Smith, uh, he just didn't look the part yesterday of an ace for the Chicago White Sox, and this was kind of one of the fears that I had about Shane Smith. He's definitely one of my favorite players from last season, but you know the fact that he doesn't really have a secondary pitch to follow up his four-seam fastball, it came out. It kind of hurt him yesterday. He had the second inning. He didn't even make it out the second inning, and it was rough because he had two walks, and Edgar Quero didn't do him any favors with a catcher's interference, bases loaded situation. So everybody was in, which led to like a routine fly ball to shallow right, ended up being a bases clearing double, and that was pretty much it for the Chicago White Sox. Once they allowed the Milwaukee Brewers to start scoring, they didn't stop the bleeding whatsoever. So it was a couple of things I noticed yesterday about Shane Smith. Again, he got to get better at throwing a slider or a curveball or something off of that four-seam fastball, because if he's not locating that pitch, it's going to be a long season for him. Obviously, it's a long season for everybody. That's just game one, so I'm not panicking or jumping ship just yet. But the Chicago White Sox have to be better than what they were yesterday, because casuals who haven't been paying attention to this team for the last 3 seasons are pretty much like, yo, it's another 100-loss season on the way. And I know this team can be better. Murakami did draw a walk in his first two at bats, honestly. So he looked the part. He knows the strike zone. So that was pretty good. Who else happened? yada yada yada. Sean Newcomb came in and looked okay. He was all right, but he gave up some runs. The one that I didn't like from him was when he just he didn't even he just let a batter steal runner steal third base. Didn't even check second base at all. Just let him steal it, and that led to more runs for Milwaukee. And then the floodgates opened up. Milwaukee's a really good team. Nobody was expecting the Chicago White Sox to go in there and really win the game yesterday, but I expected them to compete. Losing 14-2 is just ugh. It's just ugh. Like, you gotta do better. Will Venable, you gotta have these guys better prepared to win baseball games to compete in baseball games, because as a White Sox fan, we do not want to see another 100 loss team, and I don't think this team is going to lose 100 games. I got them winning at least 75 games this year. If you missed the episode from a couple of days ago, that's just how I feel. But they got to do better than what they did yesterday. Just rough. Just rough. It was embarrassing, to say the least. Now, good thing they got the day off today. We're going to preview tomorrow's game in a second. They'll be back out there and they'll have a new chance. That's the thing about baseball. You got to have a short term memory with these situations, because at the end of the day, you basically playing the next day or the day after. Pretty much every day from now until late September, and hopefully in October. But the White Sox aren't going to be playing in October for another year or two. Maybe they can surprise some people this season, but it's not expected. All right, so the good guys, the bad guys, the ugly guys. So the good guys, it's easy. Chase Mydroth for sure. He became the first Chicago White Sox player in the team's history to lead off a season with a home run. That's lofty right there, considering all the players that have come through these doors, through the South Side. He's etched in the history books right there. So shout out to him, and he did draw a couple of walks as well. So shout out to him. Munetaka Murakami, he drew 2 walks and hit a home run. Can't ask for a better debut from someone coming over from China. I'm expecting him to hit between 35 and 40 home runs this season, maybe even 50 if he can catch fire. So good for him. I know a lot of questions. There were a lot of questions about his strikeout rate versus his walk rate, his swings and misses, and he showed incredible discipline. So shout out to Munetaka Murakami. And I'm putting Luis Angel Acuna on this list of the good guys mainly because he got a hit and he didn't strike out. Trust me, the White Sox struck out a lot yesterday. So yeah, Munetaka Murakami, and Luis Angel Acuna were the only 2 batters to not notch at least 1 strikeout. So those are your good guys. Chase Mydroth, Munetaka Murakami, and Luis Angel Acuna. Can't wait to see him start stealing bases. Edgar Cuero. At one point, he was 3 for 3 on challenges. I'm not sure if he challenged anything else after going 3 for 3, but that's good. That's part of the good guys. And now the bad guys. Also, Edgar Cuero. That second inning rally that the Milwaukee Brewers had that blew the game open 4-1 was mainly because of Edgar Cuero's catcher's interference. You can't do that. Shane Smith was already struggling. He had already walked the batter. Then you had the catcher's interference. Then he walked another batter. So those 3 runs that they scored, they scored 4 runs in the inning, but those 3 runs right there that they gave up were all off of no hits. The bases were loaded with batters who didn't get a hit. And part of it was because of Edgar Cuero's blunder. You cannot have a catcher's interference right there. You got to help your pitcher out. Everson Pereira, he let Jacob Mizorowski off the hook. What inning was that? Murakami had drawn I think this was the top of the 4th inning. And at this point, the Chicago White Sox had already had 15 swings and misses versus Jacob Mizorowski. But Austin Hayes got a hit. And then Murakami drew another walk and showed incredible patience. Jacob Mizorowski was not throwing strikes. Pereira comes up to bat and swings at a pitch in the dirt. And he swung at all bad pitches. You gotta build off of what you had just seen from Murakami. And at that point, the game was still a winnable game. It was still 4-1. You were able to if you go up there and you show plate discipline and you don't just swing at plate dirt pitches in the dirt and bad pitches and you make Jacob Mizorowski throw strikes, you don't know what happens. Maybe Chicago White Sox get a run or two, and that changes the whole complexion of the game. But because he did that, and the next batters came up, they all struck out after Pereira came out and did what he did. Milwaukee put on two more runs in the bottom of the fourth. You cannot do things like that against quality pitchers. You have to make them throw strikes. So Everson Pereira is a part of the bad guys. He let them off the hook. So those are your bad guys. Edgar Quero with the second inning blunder of catcher's interference, and Everson Pereira with, just swinging at bad pitches after seeing Munitaka Murakami force himself onto base by being disciplined and drawing a walk. Now the ugly guys is everybody not named Chase Mydroth, Munitaka Murakami, and Luis Angel Acuna. The Chicago White Sox struck out 20 times yesterday. 20. That is completely unacceptable. That is nasty work. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Here's a rundown. Chase Mydroth. He's not a part of the ugly guys, but he did strike out once. Now he got a hit and drew two walks, so I'm not mad at him. Colson Montgomery, we're expecting him to be an offensive leader on this team. 3 strikeouts. Miguel Vargas, we're expecting him to play better than what he did yesterday. 3 strikeouts. He did draw a walk, though. Benintendi, batting in the DH spot and cleanup, 2 strikeouts. Lenyn Sosa came in as a pinch hitter, and he also decided, I want to strike out too. He had a strikeout. Austin Hayes, 2 strikeouts. Pereira, 3 strikeouts, and he looked terrible at the plate. And then Peters comes in as a pitch hitter, and he strikes out. Edgar Quero, 2 strikeouts. And then his pinch hitter, Reese McGuire, comes in, and he strikes out too. And then Luis Angel Acuna, he didn't strike out, but the person that came in to pitch hit from him and Hill, he also struck out. It's 27 outs in baseball. 27 outs, and the Chicago White Sox struck out 20 times. It was only 7 times that they didn't strike out, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those were walks. And then the other 2 non-strikeouts were home runs, and then of course the hit that Luis Angel Acuna got. So that's it. It was either walks, home runs, or strikeouts. That is not acceptable. So that is ugly. And speaking of ugly, the last ugly on the good guys, the bad guys, and the ugly guys segment is Chicago White Sox pitchers. Shane Smith, an inning and 2/3 pitch. My man, ERA 16.2. Sean Newcomb, 2 1/3 innings pitched. So Shane Smith gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and he also walked a few batters as well. So him, that was ugly. Sean Newcomb comes in, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout, and let me see how many walks he had. So Smith had 2 walks, Newcomb had 1 walk. Then you had Gilbert come in, pitched just 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and a walk. No strikeouts for him. He gave up the homer. Jordan Hicks came in. He didn't even make it through an inning. He's supposed to be a flamethrower. 2/3 of an inning pitch, 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 4 walks. 4 walks in 2/3 of an inning for Jordan Hicks. And then you had Paez come in an inning and a third. He gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, and a homer. Jordan Lesher is the only pitcher that pitched and didn't give up any hits or any runs, but the game was far gone at that point. So it was a bad day bad day for the Chicago White Sox pitching staff. It was just rough overall, and you gotta do better than that. So there you have it: the good guys, the bad guys, and the ugly guys for the Chicago White Sox. But the best part about all of this is that the White Sox get to move on. They play tomorrow, the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow evening at about 6:10 p.m. will be the first pitch. You got Sean Burke on the mound. So that's going to be an opportunity for him to help the Chicago White Sox get into the winning column. Now he did go 4-11 last season with a 4.29 ERA, 133 strikeouts. But hey, it's a new season, so let's see how he can do. He's going to be facing Chad Patrick. He went 3-8 last season for the Brewers, 3.53 ERA, 127 strikeouts. So he is definitely able to be gotten to, and I don't expect the Chicago White Sox to strike out 20 times again. They got to have better plate discipline. They got to play better. All right, so you guys know what it is. You'll see me tomorrow. I will be live calling that game tomorrow evening. So join me right here on Chicago White Sox Central. You'll still see me calling that game. Hopefully, it'll be better than what we saw yesterday. Don't forget to follow the rest of the Chi-Town Sports Central family. Type in your favorite Chicago sports team, put the word Central behind it. You will find one of us, as well as NBA Central, NFL Central, and the Shy Boys podcast with the Cognac Boys, C-Dub, and Bobby. They will be live tonight and tomorrow night calling the Chicago Bulls games. That season's getting their season's wrapping up. You know where to follow me at Big Kev from the Shy, Big Kev from DACHI, Shy White Sox Central, and then Shy White Sox Central at gmail.com, of course. And then yeah, man, it's good to be back though, honestly. It's good to have baseball back. I'm not mad at it. Sox Central Pod over on Twitter as well. TikTok, Big Care from the Shy. Instagram, Big Care from the Shy. Yeah. So listen, we gonna have some fun this season, y'all. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for the South Side. And we're gonna holler at y'all next time. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.